I think that's just a camera problem. All right, if you joined me a while ago, I'm sorry, my video is going to be flipped upside down because of my camera setup. Are you able to see it? Okay. All right, guys, I'm trying. All right, so as I was saying, gather some pieces, some big pieces, some stiff pieces for your cover. These pieces. All right, we'll get started with it. I hope everyone's having a good evening. That's just a big piece. That's not too sturdy. I think this B paper would be a great start because it's not super thin like that. That's actually digital, but it's not too thin. All right, so we want it to be 5 inches tall. So we're going to need to trim this. The old Creative Memories trimmer. All right, so it's roughly 5 inches. It's not quite 4 inches wide, so we're going to need a piece, but that's all right because we're going to just make a bunch and we're going to keep flipping it over and adding to both sides to make both sides pretty cool looking. All right, let's just get started. Got all kinds of paper. Let's see. That's going to end up being folded on that. That might be too stiff there. Let's try a piece of paper. I think that would work. Let's trim it though. It really doesn't matter how long it is. Oh, let's cut the corner on that. There goes Susan cutting corners again. All right, so I cleaned off the tip of my art glitter glue. I really think I just need to get a whole new bottle. But I'm able to get glue out now, so this is kind of the end of the big refill bottle as well. And you're going to want to go in there because you probably didn't get all the way to the edge. How's everyone doing? I'm sorry if it's flipped upside down on your screen. It's just the way my camera is set up. When I record my videos, my regular videos, obviously you're recording them, Susan. I flip the video around before I, upload it. So, let's see, I don't want all the color up there at one time. So let's tear some of that. Almost grabbed my Barely Art glue. Let me know who's here. Where are you from? Or what time zone you're in? Or what you ate for lunch today? That's a good piece. This is Tim Holtz. Those is like long, I don't know if they call background papers. Is that what they're called? I don't want it to be the same, so we're going to make that longer. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this journal, but I may pop it in my coffee shop. I got some things up there. If you're interested in anything, if you're interested in multiple things, let me know before you buy it, because I can make a package for you and, cut down on shipping, because right now everything's priced per shipping just that item. So I need something bigger. How about some text page? But that's pretty relaxing. Last time I didn't really talk during it though. So that's makes me a little nervous. Let's see. I think I want this side down. But I did start the video a while ago. My husband was trying to tell me to turn the video and I couldn't, and I got frustrated. So I just turned it off. So I apologize if you were on that stream and I didn't realize there was anybody but myself and him on there. Oh, I keep reaching for my Barely Art glue. Okay. Let's see. MK in North Carolina. Like what part of North Carolina? Because I actually used to live in North Carolina. I'm from Texas and I'm back in Texas, but I did live in the eastern part for like 12 years. So what part of North Carolina? And Julie, welcome in from Iowa. And thanks, Annabelle, for stopping by. Greenville. We lived in Greenville. In fact, we're watching the ECU football game in the background. My husband went to ECU. But we actually lived for 12 years in Ahoskie, which is an hour north of Greenville. Small world. Okay, I think that's pretty covered. All right, we need to start adding some more. How's I gotta flip it upside down here? I think I want that to, let's see, where are we at? We're at 4-8. So whatever is there is gonna get folded. So we don't want it to be too thick. Yeah, small world. My sister-in-law and her family, they still live out that way, and my in-laws. But that's funny. Nobody's ever heard of Ahoskie. unless you're like from that part of North Carolina. Let's put this on top. Yeah, I just thought I would craft here on Saturday evening. I don't know how often this will happen, but I got all my videos made for the week except for Junk Journal Madness, and I'm going to work on that tomorrow. But I got my Which One Wednesday. I got one more episode of that coming up, following week after this. And then I got my Junk Journal sketches made, my Marguerite Miller made. Let's add, I don't want the plain white background, so we're going to add some stuff to that. Well, let's add a piece of this drink label. These drink labels came from, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Diane Hubert, Pretty Pink Cottage on YouTube and on Etsy. I'd ordered guest checks from her and she threw these in as a freebie. So that was kind of cool. Some glitter paper. Let's see. This is Tracy Fox from her Creep on June piece, or her, that project, a piece of that. That kind of took me out of my comfort zone a little bit. But that's another piece. It was definitely interesting. I kind of like the crime file type journal. That was fun. I don't know if you guys, oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys have participated in any of her previous Creep on Junes. I'm not sure. I know she did one last year. Oh, you have one of Diane's journals, Annabelle. Nice. Yeah, I love watching her haul videos. She's got some really good, I guess, flea markets that she can go to. And I'm super jealous. So I like watching her videos and what she puts in them. I like how she usually makes, a few at a time, and they're kind of similar. Let's use this side. I believe this is probably leftovers from our Junk Journal Madness, the first one we did, which was a recipe theme. But crafting, and I like crafting, and I do tend to talk, but I don't like simultaneously do. So this is different. So we'll see how this goes. We're going to extend that piece out. But I just need to use up these scraps. They really build up on you, especially when you got various projects going on. And I put way more glue on this without having to, something to glue it to on the other end here. So that's, my thinking at its finest. All right, I need to trim this piece. Hey, Jen from Scrapbooks and Memories. How are y'all doing out in Louisiana? I know you guys and those of us here in East Texas were concerned about the hurricane, and then it went the other way, but I did again. I put more glue than. All right, you guys, you're going to have to. Susan can't talk and glue at the same time. We thought it was going to come here to Texas or even to Louisiana, which was kind of scary because I feel like Louisiana, anytime it acts like it's going to come to Texas, it veers to the right and hits to y'all. But my in-laws got a little rain. They didn't think they were going to get much at all. Yeah, it's really bad. I just had no idea it was coming in that strong. So I've seen videos and I'm like, should we add this little piece? We probably should add that after we start folding because I don't want to put that on a fold. Okay, let's tear a little bit of this. I would like a day off from school, but not that kind of day. No, that's too much. And then it would take forever for everything to dry out. We have places that would take forever, the water to go down. Yeah, Rocky Mount had that tornado. So my in-laws were telling me about that. And of course, my husband works from home, so when I get home, I get the daily news recap from him. Oops. All right, let's fold this a little bit. All right, that's gonna be the front. Oh, genius, Susan. You probably should have glued it the other way. Maybe we can make that the back. Okay. So we're going to fold it, and then we'll come back in. If we got to flip flop it the other way. Okay. So that way. Now, once you get your first fold, the rest really are, you just line them up. You could use a scoreboard on this if you wanted to. Yeah, Jen, I am making like Junk Journal July. I did one of those like accordion folded journals, just purely made out of scraps, and I'm just making another one because I have. You should have seen the bag at the beginning. This bag full of scraps. I just dumped it out on my table here, and mine are 5 inches tall, and at the end it'll be 64 inches long, and you just fold it up in 4-inch chunks. Oh, I don't like tornadoes either. I guess if I had to choose, I'd take a category 1 hurricane. But the problem with hurricanes is they can spin off and make tornadoes. So, such as this one did up in North Carolina. And it's really, really weird that in the mountains of North Carolina, I think it was Boone, they had flooding, or was it, how you pronounce it? Swanoa, North Carolina. Like there's flooding. It's just bizarre to my brain to think that there's flooding in the mountains. um, but you just have so much at one time that can happen. So, but you think you're up in the mountains, you're far from sea level. Okay, how are we gonna do this? Let's cut it. Right, and yeah, hurricanes you have time to plan. Tornadoes you don't. So that's for sure a difference between the two. And if your house is kind of compromised, you definitely want to get out of Dodge, as they say. Okay, let's fold where it's going to fold because that will be helpful. Well, yeah, you think you'd be safer higher up. And then all that water's got to go somewhere. So people, down the mountain, I'm thinking the water is coming. You're going to get even more because you have all that water coming down from the mountain. I used this paper in the August Junk Journal Madness and this butterfly paper. That was fun with Brittany over at Blinger Creations. And I've already recorded the October Junk Journal Madness video. That's going to be fun. So make sure you tune in October to see who October 1st to see who that's going to be. Oh, thanks, Julie. I just saw your comment. I loved your July junk journal. Isn't it? It's really relaxing. It was fun, relaxing. If you just throw some tunes on and make one, and use up these, it just builds up if you don't do something with them. Because I can sit here and do little prompt challenges with them, but you really got to keep on top of these things. Then you get these little pieces from like Your Creative Studio. I haven't ordered from them in a while because I feel like I got plenty of stuff. I just need to start using it. Yeah, Jen, I would love to have you collab. I've got someone in February lined up, but anytime, and I think I'm going to take a month because I did the very first two. So I'm going to pencil myself in there somewhere. But yeah, I'd love to have you join in. Okay, I think I kind of remember what I was doing last time. Well, it's not as wide as I thought it was. There's silver paper that I needed earlier. I don't just have so many of these like little pieces like that. The arrow on, and then how about some music? Yeah, I really took MK, I really took a break from inking when I did the the current. I haven't finished my vintage sewing journal for junk journal. I'll just leave that on there, Susan. Because it has a vintage, theme to it, but I'm like, well, vintage doesn't necessarily mean have to be that old where it's aged. And you don't have to have everything inked, Susan. So I took a break. I think my little ink dauber was very happy to take a break. And I really haven't done a lot of that on my other videos, like junk journal sketches or junk journal, or which one, Wednesday. Can't even remember what it's called. I've taken a little break from it. I do enjoy inking though. But this doesn't need it. And sometimes, just cut the things off, right? Why do we hold on to those things like that? Why? You guys watch junk journal sketch video tomorrow. I had a time with the piece and I ended up deciding on one side of it versus the other side. And you're going to see in the video that I didn't really have to make that decision. Okay, Jen, April, I will put you down for working junk journal madness in April. And you'll have plenty of time to come up with some theme ideas. I'm excited. I really enjoyed it because I feel like I'm using my stuff now because I feel like I've simply been a paper hoarder. Oh, I keep wanting to tear things. I don't always have to tear it. Because you're like, oh, I want to make this kind of journal and this kind of journal, and then you never really make one because you're like, you don't know where to start. And how are you, Jen, enjoying your time on Jovi's design team? Because I learned a lot being on her team, and it was an experience for me. So how are you enjoying working with her digitals, and aren't you part of her collab this month, the Goth Girls? Oh, there's some B paper. All right, where are we at? 4 inches. Almost there. So that's going to fold. All right, we need to trim it. I need to trim it this way. All right, first let's trim this off. And then we'll trim to 5-ish inches. Well, I appreciate you guys joining in with me this evening. I just kind of on a whim told my husband, I think I'm going to go live at 5. He was like, yeah, do it and call it that. I was like, okay. And I apologize for the video being upside down. That's how I'm set up in this space. I don't record with a phone, I record with a camera. So let's do that. Oh, I feel like I need more on the words. Ooh. Yeah. I flip this thing over and over, and I sometimes get lost which direction I'm going. I think it doesn't really matter, though. Yeah, I learned a lot from Jovi. Like, I did not know about printing on the back of scrapbook paper. Like, I was like, who would have thought? And, you know, I've been doing that. So, like, you just cut it down to fit it in your printer, and that's been really fun and useful. So, in the back of it's got something on it, and it's not wasted space. Mine looks full. Let's see. Yeah, it's full on I'm looking at my husband's screen over there. It's full on his screen. Oh, do you mean just like when I'm recording? It could be like the way you have your camera turned. I think you can turn your camera, and it should maybe turn it to landscape. I don't know. But I do record with a what was this? A Canon, I think. But like a like a real camera, not my phone. I've since updated my phone, so I went from a Samsung Galaxy 7 to what do I have? A 24? 24, yeah. So it was some years. Let's turn it that way. Glue that down, but I'm probably going to cover over top of that a little bit. Let's see. I want the blue at the top. Maybe I want that to go that way. How about that way? Then you don't have to trim the top. Did y'all talk to yourself when you craft? Please tell me yes. Usually I have music playing. Usually my husband's in here. He's playing a video game or working on his computer or watching a game on TV. So when I'm recording, that's why I put music on. Oops, this way. And it's good to have those straight edges too. That helps kind of mostly keep this in line. Oh, I answer too, also MK. I think it's okay to talk to yourself. I think it's okay to answer. I think when you talk to yourself and you go, "What?" That's when you should be concerned. That's what my mom told me one time. So, you know, wise words to live by. You can talk to yourself and you can answer yourself. But when you start going, huh, that's when you should start questioning things. Like, I see little pieces poking out. All right, let's catch up on the folding. You could use a scoreboard. I don't know if I said that earlier or if I just thought it to myself. But you can score if you don't like your folding abilities or you want a crisper line, I guess. Y'all save the little like book title, the like chapter pages, the titles at the top of the pages and chapter books. I'll get it right in a minute. Do y'all save those? There's a tree. I do save some. Sometimes they're like 4th of July or something like that. Those are fun to keep. Yeah. I have to, record and stop and sometimes just take a break. And yeah, I saved some too. Like there you go. I had so many of these Toby Tyler, and there was one called Eight Cousins from I got a couple of I shouldn't say a couple. I got right many, as they say in North Carolina. I got right many subscription kits from House of Books. And, one month I got like a chunk of the chapter book called Eight Cousins. And then, like, I don't know if it was the next month or 2 months later, I got another chunk of them. I was like, okay. I feel like I haven't even really made a dent here or anything. Let's pull over some more. I'm really trying to save that for a railroad journal one of these days. I'm just going to have to make one. Let's back over. This was a fun find. And Jen, I think you got one of these pieces. It was that big food planner from Riceland Rice Company. I found that at Goodwill. It's just a big pad of them, just peel off the sheets. Well, some yellow. Guess I could use that Marguerite Miller's collage prompts. One this week was, for this coming week, is a little bit of yellow. Guess I could have used oh, look, I just glued it to my table. That's what we're working here with, folks. Okay, let's piece of the digital. I think that map right there, I think that's from, no, I think that's from the August junk journal. I thought that was from my pirate journal. Yeah. Bring in more piece of flowery paper, flowery. What's y'all's favorite junk journal supply that you, not counting glue, that you cannot live without? And paper. I mean, obviously paper and glue, you need them. But like, what's your other supply that you've got to have? You may not use it all the time, but you love it. I'm about to cover up all that text, aren't I? Well, it is what it is. Let's cut it in half. Just gonna start gluing. Oh, what's that? Oh, hey, that's Lafayette. Oh, that's from when I made your thing, Jen. Okay. I was like, I see the blue marker on there. Bro Bridge. Black ink. Black ink is good. Ribbon, jute, and postage. Okay. What is my favorite thing? I don't know. I feel like my favorite thing kind of changes to whatever I'm working on. I do like my ink. I've just done really well not to like my vintage photo and ground espresso. I use that quite a bit on that Creep on June, and I think that's the one I used on my August junk journal madness, that nature study. That's gonna fold where there. Oh, I didn't get it on there because you weren't thinking, Susan. Yeah, I love vintage photo. It's nice. But I'm starting to appreciate the ground espresso. I have quite a few colors. I just don't use them a lot because of my setup here. So I've got to make a point to use them. All right, let's catch up on the folding. Oh, that sounded terrible on the camera. Squeak, squeak. All right, what's your least favorite thing? Tool, item. Oh, look, there's a junk journal. I'm gonna know which one Wednesday prompt list. What's your least favorite thing? Let's flip it over. Trim it. Fabric, yeah. Fabric is hard. Um, My least favorite thing. I have just this is just like a not a necessarily a tool, but just a process like journal closures. I have a hard time with that. Like my brain does not want to think about that at the beginning. I want to think about it at the end, and at the end sometimes it's too late. Um, so junk journal closures are not my favorite. Also, I'm just gonna say I'm not a fan of the word burnish. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't like it. Um, people use it a lot. Then that's not why. I just don't like the word. It just doesn't sound. I don't know. I guess it's like people in the word moist. I don't like the word moist. Anyways, I was thinking about burnish when I was doing this. People say to burnish. Burnish folds. Um, yeah, some people use it. I mean, if you catch people when they're filming, they'll say that when they're using their bone folder, but not everybody. Just time to time. Ooh, which side? Let's go with this one. Getting to where I have so many favorites that I'm like I get home from work and I'm constantly just it's one YouTuber after another, and I watch it on my TV in the living room with my Xbox, so I'm not always commenting, but of course I have to go through my subscription list because it doesn't always pop up on your like, hey, watch this list, and because then I lose track of some YouTubers. So I'm like, are they still making videos? Oh, that looks good. That kind of uses up that kind of a blank space, even though it's not really blank space. It's honeycomb in there. But I get so many, fun ideas from everybody. I like it. Everybody lives in different parts of the country and the world, and you can see the different things you have access to. I think that's super fun to see. Um, and learning people's styles, that's fun. Oh, learnish. Yeah, burnish. Sorry. My Texas accent got in the way. Burnish. Oh, embossing powder. MK. Yeah, I actually have embossing powder, a few pieces or a few jars. And I have a heat gun, but I don't feel like my space lends itself to doing those things just yet. So they'll come eventually. I feel like I was gathering things to make cards before I started junk journaling. I never even heard of junk journaling. I ended up coming across Gail's video where she was doing a tour of her craft basement that she has, her craft room. And so I started watching some of her videos. I was like, what is this? And here we are. I was like, oh, that looks like fun. I have a lot of these like strippy bits I need to just put somewhere and stamp. Let's do that. uh, well, I'm actually from South Texas. I feel like I'm from the part of Texas that doesn't have an accent, but I've lived here in East Texas for 8 years now, and so it can come out. When I was in North Carolina, there's a little of that coming out sometimes, and but I have relatives. Like a lot of my ancestors on my dad's side are from Louisiana or came through Louisiana and spent some decades there, some centuries. But I have cousins there, and it's fun listening to their accent. So I have cousins in like Lake Pontchartrain area, and then I have cousins up here close to me near Natchitoches, and accents are completely different. In fact, the ones here closer to me are more East Texas sounding accents than a Louisiana accent. So MK, do you move at a fast speed? I can't read what all that says. Let's see. Sometimes I can talk really fast. In fact, I tell my students that I get excited about math and teaching math, that if I go too fast, let me know. I'll go back over it. Just say, Mr. Kraken, that's too fast. And oh, I had someone do that to me the other day, and I was like, okay, I appreciate you telling me that, because when I get excited, my mouth starts going. Let's see where we're at on this side. Okay, I need to add. I'm not a big fan of this unicorn paper. Just get rid of that. Don't need all of that. Do this, Susan. Yeah, my family is from north of Lake Pontchartrain. And in fact, my husband and I were married in Folsom. That church has since burned down. It was a 150-year-old church, Baptist church. But he's from North Carolina, I'm from Texas, and that was in the middle. And then I had relatives there, so that helped out having family there. Then my, ancestors actually lived in, I guess, more central Louisiana, kind of like if Lafayette and Lake Charles, and you kind of go up toward, kind of like towards Alexandria, but south of Alexandria. Little, blink, you're gonna miss it towns. I feel like everybody's kind of spread out now compared to how we used to be all kind of in a few places, but I'm gonna go a few more minutes and we'll call it an end, but I will maybe go live again next Saturday at 5, live at 5, and continue working on this, because I know y'all have things to do. We're talking about watching a movie as a family. So it's harder to do those things when you got older children. And when they want to do something, you kind of jump on it. Let's see here. Oh, of course, that ended up being kind of right on the fold. Ooh, choices. I think I like the green side best. I think that would have been fun if I had weighed the bag of scraps before and after. Good TV series like Netflix, or I don't really watch cable anymore. In fact, we're getting ready to just cancel cable because other than occasional news or game on TV, we really don't use cable much anymore. We're just going to need internet. But yeah, streaming. Gosh, we haven't really started any new ones. I finished The Crown. I finished, well, Outlander's getting ready to wrap up. So I need to gear up for that one because I'm excited. Bridgerton, I like Bridgerton. I know some people don't like it, but I like it. What else? Sweet Magnolias was good. We need to finish up or catch up on Cobra Kai. Mandalorian, I think we're behind on that. We're so behind on stuff. Thanks, Jen. Yeah. Older kids. They're a different vibe. But that's all right. They're coming into their own. So I have my youngest is the only one at school, so we got one more year to go there. So yeah, I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. This was fun, and I totally did this on a whim. I'll try to figure out the camera thing before next time. But yeah, and Jen, I'm excited about you joining my Junk Journal Madness list of guest collaborators. That's going to be fun. MK, thanks for joining in. Julie was here earlier. Julie, thanks for joining in. And Annabelle. And of course, my husband, he joined in. Plus, he's sitting next to me. So, yeah, I totally made that in 30 minutes. I set it all up. Like I got the thumbnail made and everything. And so that was pretty quick. But I appreciate you guys joining in for my first live at 5. I can't even talk anymore. I probably need to have a beverage next time sitting here with me. But I'm going to load all these scraps back up. And let's see, how far did we get tonight? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 24 plus, so about 26 inches tonight. So we only have 38 more to go. 38. All right, guys. Thanks for joining in, and hope to catch you next time, and see you on the channel. Until next time, guys. Bye.